again, this goes back to that masculinity thing, but it's intensity. It's that intensity. Mm-hmm. I've had guys who just can't get angry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, get angry. Like, I'm the most passive guy in the world. Like, I haven't had a fight in God knows how many years. I'm the happiest, chirpiest guy. I might look up, but I'm really, you know, I don't like confrontation, right? But when I'm in the gym, I get freaking angry.
It's got to come from somewhere, right?
It's got to come from somewhere, and I channel it in my training.
That's probably why you're not an angry guy. You haven't had a fight because you're channeling it into your training.
I love it.
It's a good way to do it.
Even talking about it now, you can tell.
Come together right now over me.
Yeah, nice. Good one. Stuffed crust is the way to go.
I'll tell you what. I'm blown away by how good that cheese pizza was. Like, I had a Domino's a couple of days ago. Mm-hmm. Can't say I enjoyed it more than that. That was special.
You finished yours?
Oh yeah.
Digging on mine, mate. Go ahead.
Oh no, I couldn't do that, mate.
I'm just taking. Go on.
I'll give it
Otherwise, I'm gonna be all day. Mine's gonna be freezing.
Oh well. I'll pace myself.
I'll tell you what though. Without stuffed crust, forget it. Domino's is overpriced now.
Yeah.
What is it, like 20 quid for a pizza?
I mean, if you get it just on its own delivered, yeah.
That's ridiculous for a pizza.
Yeah, it's a fair whack.
Might as well make your own.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid, innit? Anyway, I think I've pissed off everyone enough eating pizza, chewing on the mic. Mr. Stephen Walker, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. Well, I'm obviously on the tail end of a bit of man flu, which nearly took me out.
No.
I'm fairly convinced that the
You're
virus...
a robot.
It would have been a virus that, had anyone else called it, they'd have been dead within 15 minutes.
100% agreed.
Probably the equivalent of being bitten by 5 or 6 rattlesnakes.
Agreed.
But I survived.
Yeah.
And it's been tough. I had a bit of a headache.
Do you think people take us seriously?
What's not to take seriously?
He thinks he's Bronson. He'd...
There have been a more serious couple of guys than us, mate. You know?
Oh, that's hilarious.
But yeah, mate, just excited. Obviously 9 days to the big move to Spain now.
Yep.
Super excited to be running our first fitness retreat at the end of January. It's going to be freaking epic.
Yep. I'll bring that up on screen now. I'll bring your ad up.
Nice.
I'll try and do a silent one, the one of you training.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we'll put the one of you speaking on there.
Yeah, well, I won't plug my products too much.
Plug it now. Plug it now.
Should I face the camera?
If you want. You're a showman.
Okay, so the program we're doing is called T90. T being for testosterone and obviously transformation. It's a 90-day body transformation program utilising all the skills and techniques that I've used as a natural bodybuilder to win a British title for over 15 years, working with men to change their bodies to build insane physiques. And again, naturally, we don't give you any testosterone addition. You're not taking steroids. You're just eating right, sleeping right, being happier, healthier, building confidence, and just looking freaking amazing. But more importantly, we teach you the habits to make it last. And it starts on a beach. You've got 4 days working out on a beach, competing against other men, running up mountains, working out in our gym. And then we give you a nice bit of accommodation, a hotel, and some seriously good grub. So
I forgot you won an award. I forgot you won that award.
Yeah, mate.
I went on your website when I was getting all the photos from my website for the author bios, and I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot you did that. Yeah. I went and searched it. I had a look through the competition. Looking good.
Cheers, mate.
The shaved head, looking tanned, lean.
You know what?
It's funny to see. I was like, oh, nice.
It's amazing the power of a tan now as well. Like, you tan anyone up, they instantly look
much better,
20% leaner, bigger. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Exciting times though.
Even the really dark black guys tan, don't they?
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I know some guys, all they'll literally do is they'll put on a bit of baby oil, just kind of like polish it so you can see the light reflect.
LL Cool J style.
Yeah.
He used to do that before he went on stage, didn't he? Yeah, just do the abs and with a name like Ladies Love Cool J, you don't expect anything less, do you?
No. Oh, is that what LL stands for?
Yeah. Look at that.
Was that actually his name, or is this his rapper name?
That's his rapping name.
All right, okay.
I think.
I like to think his mum named him that.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Beautiful boy.
LL Cool J.
Ladies love him.
Probably had one of those like real shitty normal names. They all do, don't they?
Yeah.
They all have a terrible name.
Well, who's the guy that went a bit wrong? I Believe I Can Fly.
Kelly. I don't know how to hog tie people.
What did the R stand for?
Robert. Is that in bad taste? Should I put this out? YouTube have got a new feature now where they're like, is this for kids? Every video I'm like, nah.
Yeah. Is it not for kids?
Well, no, not really, mate, no.
Okay.
Not really.
Yeah, but one day kids will grow up to be a man and think if they watch this, what
We're
a
just
man
giving
will
them a
grow
head
up to be,
start.
eh?
That's what First Man is. It's your first step, but it's becoming a man.
Yeah.
YouTube, listen up.
Yeah. That's it.
Every video though, they're like, "Oh, what's the age limit on this?" I'm like, "Fuck! How many times did I swear?" 18.
Yeah.
18's the age limit. 16. 16's fine.
Well, they say now, don't they? They say that everybody's on the spectrum. Everyone's on the gender spectrum. Well,
Yeah.
I think if anyone's on the spectrum and they're not sure where they are, listening to his podcast is going to knock them very much into the man spectrum.
Yeah, they need to listen to this.
I think so. Yeah.
So we were saying before, though, isn't it? Like men are great. Just get shit on over everything. We're bad at everything. Apparently, we're the problem for everything. We're the toxic masculinity is the key phrase.
Yeah.
It pisses me off, especially running first man. But I'm the type of person who will, debate it properly. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I fucking hate women. I'm going to be like, no, look, I love women.
Oh yeah, likewise.
But, right?
I really love women, by the way.
Any women? Do you think we get any women watching this? I don't.
I hope so.
We will now with you on the show.
Yeah.
It's like
You know
having The
what?
Rock on.
I think women should be watching this because if you want to understand men better, you should be watching this because this is about men by men.
We're getting women laid. We should release a course.
We should.
How to get laid for women.
Yeah. Just put our number up. I'll put mine up. Chris is spoken for, I'm afraid, ladies.
She sat over there, and imagine she was. I always say when I'm doing podcasts, I'm like, oh, you have to get out. No. Can you imagine some of the stuff we talk about? Good job we haven't been drinking.
Savage. Yeah, we'll have to get some drinks out next time.
We're going to have to do a pissed up podcast at some point.
Like,
I'm going to save that for later. Otherwise, I'm just going to be doing this the whole time, just chewing on the mic.
yeah.
On the topic, let's get a bit more fitness related because that's probably why people tuned in past all the funniness. The topic of masculinity, whatever, men being great, everyone shitting on us. Testosterone, because me and you have done a few things on it. People have probably seen those videos. What's going on at the moment? Like we said before, kind of the modern man. I mean, there's some positives to the modern man. We're not beating our wives. Do you know what I mean? That sort of angle.
Yeah.
We're not as racist. We're not as homophobic. There's some great positives coming out of the modern man.
Yeah.
There's also a ton of negatives, but they're being encouraged more than the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of good things about men. What is going on with testosterone? We all know it's dropping. I love hearing your take on this sort of stuff. We've spoken about it at length before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, so I guess my take would be somewhat unique in the fact that I went on a journey to become the ultimate alpha male. From being a kid who I certainly wasn't effeminate, but I wasn't very confident as a kid. And I had a lot of health issues, eczema, asthma, allergies.
Pull that a little bit closer or sit a bit closer.
There we go.
There we go. We got it.
Yeah, eczema, asthma,
I should get some
allergies,
headphones, but never mind.
Slick down, side parting, just not a very confident kid. Lisp, you name it.
Side pie.
And then
I saw your picture, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was my comment? You look like all three of the brothers from Malcolm in the Middle blended into one. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. I was like, Steve won't take offense. He'll find that funny.
With my strong Caribbean features, with nose and lips and all that, where I grew up, everyone was white, completely white. So even though I was quite fair skinned, my big hair and all the rest of it was an issue.
Yeah.
The old flatulence come up there.
Amazes me too. That's why I'm staying away from the other three.
But a real slow starter with the ladies. I used to lie in my bed writing poetry to get to sleep when I was 15, 16. I used to keep a bottle of whiskey in my bedside table. I was the kid that always got served when he was 14 because he always looked older than his age.
Whiskey at
I was
15?
a little cocky bastard. Yeah, I was the one that bought all the pornos for my mates as well.
Yeah, still got them?
What's that?
Still got them?
No, I used to hide him in
Vintage collection.
I used to hide him in a little cupboard in the bathroom above the door.
What was porn
and
like
my
back
mum
then?
found him a few times.
What was porn like?
Well, there was a magazine called Razzle, I think. There was one called Mayfair, which was fantastic.
Yeah.
I was in love with a woman called Veronica. So every once in a while you'd find her in an episode, and she was just incredible.
Yeah, there we go.
Long brown hair, kind of like Russian-looking, massive boobs. Her figure was incredible. I've never seen anything like it since. Just unbelievable. I don't know what happened to her.
Don't know her surname.
But no, I'm sure we can find out.
We'll have a little search afterwards. I'll try and bring it up in editing during that part of the video.
Did you ever?
Am I allowed? I don't know if I'm.
Here we go. I know we're going for a tangent. But did you ever buy a porno mag when you were a kid?
No, Nuts, I think, was around about that time. Nuts was a magazine. Everyone was going crazy about it. The Sun was just giving people free porn.
Yeah.
On page 3.
Well,
You see a pair of tits, fake or real, and you just be like,
when I had a paper round, that was one of the highlights because I used to deliver the Daily Star and the Sun. And I'd literally find a little bit around the corner, give it a paper, look around the corner before you put it in the house, have a little look, and like, whoa.
give you that pedal energy.
Exactly.
The last leg of the journey.
Exactly.
Let's get it done.
Sadly, back then I didn't even have a phone to take a picture of, so it's just all like stored in there for later.
What was pre-internet like?
Pre-internet? Oh, bloody hell, yeah, forget.
Yeah.
37, pre-internet.
So that's the thing. I
Actually, I
had
remember-
high-speed porn.
Oh, see, I remember dial-up internet.
By the time I had testosterone, I had high-speed porn.
We used to have a guy that used to work in Tesco's, and he sold a homemade magazine. He sold it to us over the big Tesco's wall. We'd buy this magazine off him for 10p, and it was like a black and white pages of like porno mags that he just scanned and put it on a page, and some other random bloke used to we used to buy it off.
What year was that?
Oh my word! I mean, I would have been about, I must have been about 12, 13 at the time. So 24 years ago.
Your team sounded like a fucking nightmare.
No.
Porn, whiskey.
Oh mate,
you're off the rails.
Well, I'd smoke a spliff out my bedroom window to try and get to sleep. So at the age of 18,
Probably a good idea.
at the age of 18, my mum's like, you're going to end up in prison, or you're going to end up doing something stupid. Because I punched a hole in my bedroom wall. I got done for drink driving a scooter the day before that I was even legally allowed to drive it. Tried to outrun the police on a 50cc, 30-mile-an-hour scooter.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, well, yeah, great. Well, eventually they caught me because amazingly I couldn't get away.
Yeah.
And there was a TV show at the time called The Bill. I don't know, do you remember?
Yeah, I remember The Bill.
There was a big fat guy with a moustache called Tosh.
Yeah.
So they've got out the police car, and I'm stood there. I go, oh come on, Tosh. Having a right old laugh. I think it's really funny. It was really hilarious until I was at the police station, and then my dad turns up because he's had to collect me, and that was it weren't funny anymore,
I thought you were going to say he belted you or Tosh.
No, Tosh was quite nice actually.
My dad was in that era because he's in his 50s now.
Yeah.
So he was in that era where he actually had I think he had a 125, and he got away from the police and he like chucked it down the alleyway, like got out of there. He was like fucking Steve McQueen on his bike, real dangerous bike rider. Done it all his life. Got me into it as well, but he's very fucking good. Bit of a crazy motherfucker, as you can imagine, right? Yeah. And well, he was like racing away on this 125, and he was just like popping wheelies, taking the piss out of them and everything. He was absolutely nuts. But it was back in the day when they caught you, they used to give you a fucking clip. Yeah, they beat you up down the alleyway. Two of them would jump out, smash the fuck out of you. So he was like, you had to get away if they were like, right, we're gonna catch this guy. He was like, you either got away or got beat up. Like they didn't even want to lock you up.
Do you think that's a big part of the reason why we're getting all these crime issues now? Is that basically it's a day camp for a lot of people being in prison?
There's no deterrent, is there?
There's no deterrent.
There's no deterrent.
And the police, they won't touch it. They can't do anything. They're powerless. Like I went to America for spring break 10 years ago. By the way, at the age of 27, I felt like an old man at spring break. So if I went now,
I'm 27 now,
yeah. But it was fantastic. Though. I'm not going to lie. Some very kind young ladies.
I bet there is.
It was good fun.
Yeah. Offer a hand.
Oh, it was cracking. Yeah, it was cracking. Superb. Amazing what you can get for a set of plastic beads, anyway. But yeah, we're out there. But when the police told you to move out there, you freaking moved.
Yeah.
Because people complain about police brutality in America. But you had to respect them. They had guns and it seemed a bit much, but when they told you to move, they made you move. It wasn't like, yeah, all right, mate. You wouldn't think of throwing a brick at him because he'd take your head off.
Well, the thing is, though, what can you realistically do? Like, let's say 4 guys burst in here right now.
Yeah.
All right, let's make it even. Let's say 20 guys, but let's say 4 guys burst in here right now, right? And they're like, we're going to rob the place.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk to them? We're going to reason with them?
Yeah.
Excuse me, guys, would you please just take a seat? You're going to, the only way we're going to either threaten them or smash their heads in. Do you know what I mean? Like there's some time you got no deterrent. Yeah. It's like school kids. How are you supposed to listen to a teacher that goes, Johnny, can you please sit down? Can you please get off that chair? Or you're going to walk over and back of the head. He's going to be like, fucking hell. Well, I better sit down.
So that goes back to the whole argument as well, looking at how things have changed. I mean, I was brought up very, very biblical, mate, with dad being a vicar, mum being a midwife, and we used to get the wooden spoon. I don't know what you got, but he would,
the belt and the dap.
Oh, well, there we go. So
and the cane from the greenhouse, which held plants up. That was a whip.
Well, that's it. So you had 3 weapons at this time. We just had the wooden spoon.
Yeah.
And my brother loved it one day because my dad took the wooden spoon, whacked him over the arse, and it broke, and he was going, hey.
And then the spatula came out.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the point is, at the time, when I was younger, there were times when I hated my dad. hated him for whacking me with that wooden spoon.
Yeah.
And I'm bloody glad he did now, because it
Yeah.
taught me values and behaviours that a lot of kids haven't got now. So I'm grateful for it. But there's a biblical thing. It says, spare the rod, spoil the child. And I think you're right. You know, you can't philosophise with a little kid. You can't sit down with a kid that's playing up when they're at that developmental stage and go, well, actually, you know what? I think if you acted a bit like this and did a bit of that, give him a class. You know?
See, this is the predicament I'm in. I've said loads of times, I won't be able to hit my kids. Like, I can fight. I can fight very well. I've done boxing, MMA my whole life.
Yeah.
I don't like hitting people because I know I've seen what happens when somebody's not that talented. Imagine just a little clip to your kid's ear and they start crying. Like, I've got the kind of personality where I'd be like, oh, like I want to talk to them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just think, I know I'm going to be massively successful. I know their life is going to be from day one 10 times better than mine was. You know, they're going to be wealthy kids. They're going to be rich, spoiled, never been hit. Like, I'm going to have to get them into MMA or rugby, like, young. I'm going to have to, like, tell a big kid on the other team, do you mind just, like, tackling my son a few times? Or telling the coach, like, can you discipline him? Because I don't think I'll be able to. And same with the daughter as well.
This is a difficulty, isn't it? Like, my brother Tim's a good example. So he's doing very well with his business. Great business. Fantastic personal training studio and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Great dad as well. But I guess part of it, because he's giving his kids everything we didn't have, they're not going to have that grit and hunger that we've got. Like, they get everything they want. They've got 150 different dinosaurs. They've got all the toys they could possibly want. Whereas my other brother hasn't got quite as much, but the kids are happy. They've got a lot less. But I'll be interested to see, because they've got so much, how do you keep that hunger inside them when they've got everything? So how do you create that? And in fact, I've got to say this, because my brother's eldest boy, Jack, and I've got to respect him for it, he came home one day with a taking part medal. He got a medal for taking part in a race.
I thought that was a joke.
No.
They actually do this.
Yep, yeah, they do it now. And Tim actually said to Mrs. Lauren, listen, no, I'm having that. He said he can't have it.
Yeah.
I don't want him getting a taking part medal.
It's
he
ridiculous.
gets a medal for winning. Because what does that tell you about the real world? When you go in the real world, you'll be eaten alive.
What the fuck is this
Eaten
now, mate?
Eaten alive.
I know we went off topic with the testosterone thing, but I feel like this is a big contributor to it. I feel like this sort of shit is the reason it's dropping so low, because competition's gone.
Yeah.
Like, people don't want to compete with women anymore as well. Like, I've seen that a lot. Like, when I was growing up, I'd see a guy talking to a girl and I'd go over there and start talking to her at the same time to maybe antagonize him, which might have been the worst thing to do, but I wanted him to get angry and then look at her and be like, oh, he's not right for you. You know, wind him up or like out alpha him and just be like, get the fuck out of the way. Without touching him, just be like, hello, buddy, and just do a much better job. And then, you know, you get that little buzz and you'd be like, yeah, I'm taking her home. Whereas guys now, like, what was that song? There's one I fucking hate. That song where that guy's like, I'm in the corner dancing, hoping she'll see me. I'm all alone. What's that one? I should play it on my phone.
Dancing on my own or something like that.
Dancing on my own. I'm over here dancing on my own, hoping she sees me. And it went to like #1 in the UK. I think I can play it on here. I don't do ads, so I just fucking play it on here. Even though I'm slating it. Yeah. And I heard it and I said to my missus, I was like, that's the softest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, #1, who the fuck is writing that? Yeah. That's so soft. But #2, guys are going to hear that, be sat in their room without a date, without, you know, going out on a night out. I didn't get any girls. And then playing that song and being like, oh, poor me, woe is me. Like, that's participation medal shit. You know, what you need to do, you couldn't get any girls, guess what? That's the best fucking thing that happened to you. It's the same in anything in life. You don't succeed. This podcast gets 2 views. It's the best thing that ever fucking happened to you. Do you know why? Because it tells you weren't good enough, people weren't interested, she didn't want you because you're not good enough. You know, you go out to a girl and she rejects you. You shouldn't walk away and be like, oh, fuck. It should be, oh, great. That means she didn't like me, I wasn't good enough, I didn't execute well enough, I need to improve. Yeah. You've just been told what you need to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, it couldn't be any better. It's kind of like being with a girl who's, like, a girl cheats on you and somebody goes, oh, she cheated. It's like, that's the best thing that could have happened, because she just showed to you what she's really like before you had kids, marriage, lost 60% of your income. Yeah. Like, it's a celebration. She'd be like, fuck, thanks for telling me, because now I know. Whereas if you got like 20 years down the line, then she did it, or she's been doing it and you didn't know. Do you know what I mean? It's a good thing. And it's the same with these girls. You go up to a girl and she said, like, imagine if they were always like, I don't like you, but you can hang around with me all night and watch me get with other guys. Do you know what I mean? You'd rather her go, do you know what? No. Because then you're like, all right, watch this. What was it? And look at it. It takes humility, right? To look in the mirror and be like, I'm kind of chubby. I look a mess. I got a bowl cut. My skin's awful. Maybe I need to sort my shit out.
Yeah.
You know, and it shouldn't be about, oh, look at the clothes you're wearing, but you might look down and be like, they're a bit outdated, aren't they? You know, and
Yeah.
fashion's a little show of respect, I think.
Yeah.
I'm hardly one to talk, but in the future I will brush up a little bit, you know, but when
Yeah.
I'm just doing shit like this, I just wear same sort of shit. But, you know, work on yourself a little bit. Like, it's a great signal. It's her telling you, it's coming back your way. This is feedback in real time. You're not good enough. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You got to hold your hand up and be like, yeah, maybe she's right.
Yeah.
And so many guys go, oh, it's her, she's a slut, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
They just want guys that are good looking. And you're like, well, you know how to do it. You know, if you get in the gym, your looks improve by like 90%. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
You can have a real ugly face and just like a massive shredded body, and you look fantastic. It's happened time and time again. Like, everybody's fucking done it, and nobody sees that. It's like, and that's just the gym. That's just step one. I'm just trying to keep this like gym focus because you're here, but that's just like one aspect. Then you got like orthotropics where you can like strengthen your face, your jaw, push everything upwards and forwards.
Yeah.
Get a decent haircut. You know.
I think what you mentioned there actually made me think of a guy I'm sure we've all heard of called Jocko Willink.
Jocko. What was the book he wrote? What was the one?
Extreme Ownership.
That's it. The Navy SEALs guy.
Navy SEALs guy. But again, taking ownership. This is what old school men had, is they had ownership for their own crap.
Yeah.
They didn't rely on somebody else. They dealt with their own things. You know, they fought their own battles. They had their own wars and they got stronger for it.
Yeah.
Whereas now, all this kind of mentality of blame culture, and it's somebody else's fault and it's not my responsibility. In fact, somebody said, and I read it in a book the other day, that being an adult is taking full responsibility. You become an adult when you take full responsibility for yourself. Great quote even from Fight Club is when the main character is talking about, he's 30 years old and his dad goes to him at first, he says, Dad, what should I do? He said, I should go to school, get an education. He gets that, okay, right, Dad, what should I do next? Mm-hmm. Next, you should get yourself a job. Okay, right. Dad, what should I do next? Next, you should get married. And he turns to his dad and he says, look, I'm a 30-year-old child. How can I get married? And that's what's happening with us now. We don't have that kind of tempering fire that makes us, forges us like steel. We don't have that thing that makes us a powerful man. Mm-hmm. So we get soft. We got nappies full of estrogen. I'm going to the testosterone thing now.
Yeah.
We've got nappies full of estrogen that, it's been absorbed by kids and screwing with their hormones.
I didn't know that one. There's estrogen in nappies.
That blue stuff they put in all these nappies now, which is massively estrogenic. My mum's a midwife.
And it's on your
penis. She tells me she recommends it's on your junk. It's on your junk. All this stuff is being left in. It's been left. All this stuff's being left in tap water. Contraceptives also not being filtered out in tap water. You mentioned to me about the fluoride. I didn't know about that. So
you think about these things as well. You wake up in the morning, you take a shower. There's fluoride and estrogen in our water. You brush your teeth. There's fluoride in that. You're touching all these chemicals in the morning. The food you eat, the cereals that you're eating. Like, before you even get to work in the morning, you've maybe been hit by 70 like different types of, or not different types, but different estrogen from different things. 70 different fucking things. Just like getting out of the bed, eating, brushing your teeth, showering, and walking down to the fucking train station. Yeah. And you're just getting peppered by it. And that's just like in the morning. Now, if you've got a missus or something, maybe she sprays a bit of hairspray, a bit of shower gel, getting the shower, it's on your feet. It's just everywhere, isn't it? Yeah. Like, it's destroying us. Now, I'll tell you the one thing that fucks me off, and I wrote an article about it. I might bring that up in editing as well so people can see where to find that. There's a little piece in there where it talks about testosterone levels now. Doctors seem to think, I'm doing a documentary on it soon. I'll see if I can get you in there. Yeah, I'm going to go and visit a testosterone clinic where they do TRT, the replacement therapy, when you get over a certain age. So I'll do like a free ad for them to get them in on it and get some expert advice. Yeah. But obviously it'll be useful for the community as well. I hate saying fans and followers. Yeah. Like, what am I, Justin Bieber, Jesus? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's community. Yeah. I hate when people are like, oh, I want to say thank you to my fans. You're like, fuck off. Yeah. What are you talking about? They're not fans. You know what I mean? Yeah. You died tomorrow, everyone would cry for 10 minutes. Yeah. Don't get too egotistical. Yeah. But I'm going to, it'll be useful for those guys. So I'm going to bring that in. I'm going to do a whole documentary thing on it. And what was my point? Where was I going with that? I went way off topic. We'll get it.
Basically getting rid of those nasty estrogenic things that are everywhere.
Yeah. We'll get it.
It'll come back.
We'll get it. It'll come back. Have we drank? It's been a long day though, hasn't it? Maybe I need some more pizza.
Maybe you do, mate.
Yeah, maybe I do. But basically on that topic, I'm just going to do a whole documentary on it. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm going to look into every single like piece of that.
Yeah.
Fuck, I had a genuine point. TRT. Where are we going with that?
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, you know me. That's what they should advertise it as. TRT, you know me.
But on the subject of testosterone as well, so my life has been a case study. I've never taken any testosterone supplements.
I got it.
Go for it.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
I'll finish.
Yeah?
I'll go quick.
Yeah, you go.
But I meet guys in the gym all the time that assume that I'm on steroids because I'm a big, bulky guy, because I built a certain level of physique. They assume that I must be taking juice. And actually, when you get everything right, you sleep good, stress hormones are low, eating plenty of food, drinking plenty of water, but more importantly, the mindset. I see my life as a permanent battle. Not in a stressful way. It's not a negative stress, it's a positive stress, but I walk around, I carry myself like I am the big dog. I feel like the big dog, and in my head, I convince myself that I'm this big, powerful alpha male, so my hormones reflect that. I think a lot of people, what they do is they'll watch the news, they'll read the papers, and they'll start to believe this image about them, I'm just a little man. And I think actually the mind is playing a massive part on testosterone levels as well as the environmental. I think it's a two-pronged attack.
We got to think when you're drunk how confident you get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's just a mental thing. That's a mind change. Everyone's the toughest guy in the world. Everyone can pick up I can get any woman I want, and I can beat up any guy in this club. Like, where was that 6 hours earlier when you were sober? But the point I was making was that article. Yeah. So in that article, they have doctors now. That's what I thought about the testosterone clinic. Is doctors now say that around about 650 is normal testosterone, which is, I think is like nanograms per deciliter. Yeah. I think that's what it is. I might be out of my comfort zone here.
Right,
but, correct me in the comments if you need to. But they say that that's normal. Like that's where men should be. Like that's considered quite high, and 250 is like still in the range. So 250, 700 is something like that, and they're saying like that's normal. 250 was actually normal for about an 80-year-old man 50 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And like in our granddad's era, apparently anywhere for like 750 was low, or 700 was like considered low, like a beta male. And the alphas and the like normal guys were like 1,000 to about 1,007.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? And then our dad's era came down by a third, and their sperm came down by a third, and ours went down by another third from our dad's. So we're like, I don't know if there's a compound effect, but it might be like, what would it be? It's a lot of percentage down, isn't it? So it'd be a third and then a third again. But you do the fucking maths. Like we are like 1/6. I don't know if it would like amplify because it'd be 3/3. It might be 1/9. I don't know. But like basically, let's just say in between 1/6 and 1/9 of like what our granddads were in terms of like testosterone, manliness.
See, that's interesting to me because I've got two clients. You're spot on. I've got two clients that actually, I put our training sessions down to being a huge factor on them actually having kids. So these are guys that spent a lot of money on IVF, that had tried for years and not been able to have kids, but they had stressed out lifestyles. They weren't sleeping enough. Their confidence levels were low. They were smoking. They were drinking every day. I got them to be more confident, to stop the boozing, stop the smoking, all the rest of it. And through just getting them lifting weights, carrying themselves like a powerful alpha male, their testosterone levels went up 10, 20 times. And they had kids. And I attribute a large amount of that to the training and the nutrition.
See, I'm 100% with you. I 100% agree with you. The problem is you never be able to claim that. Like if you claim that for your advertising, for like, let's say your thing that you're doing in Spain, if you claim that and said this session or this like weekly retreat, you're going to be able to get your wife pregnant, you would get sued to fuck. Yeah. But the truth is it works. Yeah. We like there's massive problems and people will go to a doctor, what would it be? Infertility clinic.
Yeah, IVF or whatever.
Yeah, and they're like paying all this money, like maybe in America they pay all this money or they go to a specialist, and so just normal men are like, no buddy, you just need to be more masculine. Yeah. You're not really a bloke. Just like it sounds like such an old school answer of, oh, you have depression, toughen up. But in this situation, it's like, yeah, that's the fucking answer. How is nobody seeing this? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can't have a kid, your testosterone's low. Think about it, buddy. Oh, how do I do that? It's like, it's so easy. Yeah. Like, what is going on? Yeah. Do you know what I found crazy? And I really wanted to speak to you about it when you came on the podcast, is that a lot of people say that, like, black guys have got more testosterone, they're more alpha. I agree, right? but I see that doing this. It's like leveling out. Like every year that passes, there's still, obviously I still think it's one-sided, but I think every year I see more black guys that are resembling white office guys with like the glasses. Obviously there's nothing wrong with glasses, but apparently when your eyesight goes, testosterone drops in a man. Apparently that's what it is, right? Yeah. It's like one side effect. But they got like a massive belly, they got the man boobs, they got like the double chin. They'll go up to a woman and be like, hi. And they got like the squeaky voice. Really like they resemble white guys. They're slow at running, you know, like all the stereotypes. They can't jump. Do you know what I mean, right? Yeah. Like all the racist stereotypes. Yeah. And they're more reflective of white guys. And I'm like, oh, maybe black guys were more alpha and higher testosterone because white people have lived in this kind of pizza-filled, I mean, you know, sugary snacks, sit at an office all day, be a beta male environment for longer. Yeah. But now it's catching up with the black community too. Yeah. Like you can see it, right? Yeah. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, that's what happened. Like in the last 100 years since like the war, what happened to white people is now happening to the black guys too.
That's really interesting.
Do you know what I mean?
But I guess we got to look at it on a basic level. You can look at, you know, psychology.
It's just a theory, you know. But
no, I think you're right. If you look at the mind, if you look at the body, if you look at pretty much anything that builds a stronger person, it's struggle. We get stronger from the struggle. You know, I want to build a muscle. I put strain on the muscle. I lift slightly more weight than I can handle comfortably. Muscle tears. Guess what? Next time I come back, the muscle's thicker, stronger. I can lift more, and that's how you get hedge. If you want to have a strong mind, you have to go through adversity. You can't have a strong mind if you haven't been through that. It's like the boxer with a glass jaw. If you get a few whacks, eventually you toughen up. So if you're not having... Oh, there's a guy, I forget what he's called. It might be something Rollins. What's his name?
Henry
Rollins. I can't remember. He's a super cool motivational speaking guy. Used to be in the Marines, used to be super fat. And he's got a thing.
No. David Goggins.
Yeah, forget the Rollins.
He's a beast.
David Goggins. One of his things is, what's it called? Callous your mind.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Callousing the mind.
I like that.
I love that idea.
They call it body hardening as well, don't they? But yeah, callous your mind's pretty good.
Callous your mind. I mean, you know,
everyone can relate to that.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are doing it as well.
No.
Not a lot of people. I see a lot of guys in the gym now as well, like the amount of work that's going into their workouts. Like I can get there, I can have 20 minutes spare and crush it. You know, heavy fucking deadlifts. Yeah. Sweat pissing off me, boxing, like this is what I hate. And my missus goes mad at me because she's like, everybody can fight at their own level. You know, everyone doesn't have to be Muhammad Ali. And I'm like, no, you got to go in there like Mike Tyson. Like you got to hit. Like I see a lot of guys on the pads and they're like little movements. It looks like they've got the technique and they're like moving the head and they're like, and they're looking around at people, headphones on. I'm like, when I get on the punch bag, it's bang. Like I'm not coming, if I get in a fight, I'm not coming to tap you. Do you know what I mean? I'm not coming to be like, look at my style. I want to put this through this side and out that side. Like that's like Mike Tyson style. Do you know what I mean? And I'm on the bag and I'm like, I'm hitting this thing hard. Yeah. Like it's technique, but I'm hitting it. I'm here to win. Do you know what I mean? And I see them on there just tapping away and I'm like, do you ever grit your teeth? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I find it really, really strange. I see it at top level as well with modern boxers like Anthony Joshua. What a beast. I'm like, number one is 90% steroids. I've got a lot of evidence outside of the way he looks. Is he roided up? Anybody at top level in any sport is roided up. Okay. The one tell, and you'll know this more than me, is bulking without putting on any body fat. It's impossible. Yeah, you can't do it, right? It's impossible. It goes against science, the body chemistry, etc. Like it can't be done. He did it twice. And the way he did it is he took a year out of boxing when he went from amateur to professional. Right. And just went... Like if you look at old pictures of him, real geeky looking guy, skinny neck, skinny forearms, just overnight. And he was like, well, I got older, like voice was deeper, jaw was wider. There's like telltale signs. Everyone goes, look at his body, he's on steroids. It's like, no, you can't do the body test because some people are genetic freaks. Yeah. Like I know guys that don't train who are in better shape than both of us put together. Yeah. And you're like, how the fuck did you do that? Yeah. But I watch him to that point. Like I watch him in the ring and it's just tap, 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 tap. And you think of the old school boxers like Tyson. You think when people said, Joshua's the baddest man on the planet. I'm like, no, he's not. Number one, the UFC heavyweight champ is always the baddest man on the planet. Yeah. You know, always. Or the Bellator one, because they can do more. They can kick, they can wrestle. That's the real baddest man on the planet. Yeah. You know, but I look at Joshua and I'm like, you're not you're not Tyson. Like, Tyson wants to take people's heads off. You know, he's shouting at people, he's screaming, and he was liked by everybody, which is, you know, not normal. But he was a real baddest man on the planet. And he, like, bit somebody's ear off, and you think to yourself, that's a killer right there. And that's somebody in a boxing sense. I'm like, I can respect that. But you look at Josh, I'm here to help the kids. Like, for me, it doesn't excite me. Whereas Deontay Wilder, I'm like, yes. Like, that's an old school man. Like, he's coming in there to feed his kids.
Yeah.
Like, he's putting that fist through that side, it's coming out that side, and whatever happens, happens. And then he's going home with the bread, and he's like, baby, I did it. Here's the money, feed the kids.
Yeah.
We're done. Do you know what I mean? I love that guy. He's incredible.
I don't know him, Deontay Wilder.
Watch his knockout highlights. Just bring it up now on your phone. Have a little... Just turn the volume down. Well, it doesn't matter. It's quite a casual podcast. Nobody really cares.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. 6'7".
Yeah.
Alabama slammer. He's fighting Tyson Fury again, the second fight in the next couple of weeks.
Or is it Deon Wilder?
Deontay.
Oh, okay. No.
My
Got
throat
Deontay,
is,
what are you?
my throat is fucked.
Oh, yeah.
I've been talking about 10 hours today.
Right.
It keeps cutting out.
Oh, by the way, have you seen Rambo Last Blood yet?
No.
Don't do it yourself, mate.
Yeah, one of those.
I've got to say, mate.
Terminator, that, Star Wars.
Arnie. There's a look at this guy.
Send me the video that you're watching afterwards so I can bring it up on screen in the editing so that they can see what you're watching, yeah?
Right, yeah.
Don't get rid of it. So it's like a reaction video. Otherwise, people are just watching us watching stuff.
Well, he's just sparring with the guy right now. Let's see what's happening. He's doing a couple of windmills here.
Is it his greatest knockouts?
I'm not sure he is, actually. No.
You're watching a full fight?
I don't know what that was. No, let's find his knockout. Top 10 deadly Deontay Wilder knockouts.
There we go. There we go. We got it.
All right.
Tune.
We got it here.
Oh.
Oh. Bomb Squad, he's called.
Bomb Squad,
He's called
yeah.
it the Bomb Squad. He's a pretty serious guy. Here we go.
He's got those bombs.
Oh.
He's a bit wild,
that was
but...
quick.
Oh, yeah, mate. Every fight.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much every fight. Even the one his records, he's knocked out everybody's fought, apart from Tyson Fury, who he drew with. But if you look at the real count, he actually knocked him out.
All right, so let's watch another one, then we'll crack on. Because it's...
His latest knockout was scary. He nearly put his fist through the guy's face.
Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hungry, isn't he?
Do you know what, as well?
Hungry.
Guess,
Oh.
he's 6'7". Guess how much he weighs in at? He comes in at like 205.
That's
210,
ridiculous.
212. Like, I think 212 is like his most recent.
Oh, that's... Oh.
Look at the size of his calves as well. He's got like female calves. He's just built. Like his bone... I think bone structure is more important than gym work.
Oh.
I think if you've got a good bone structure, you can kill it.
He's a freaking warrior, that guy.
Oh,
isn't he?
mate.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
We should watch his next fight to get... Oh, you're in
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
You're in Spain.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what's really cool?
Go on.
Have you ever like lived in or been to America or Canada?
Been to the States, yeah, Florida.
Yeah, it's cool as fuck when there's like UFC fights on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the Champions League was on,
Yeah.
and we were there for 2 years. So me and my mate made like a habit every year of like watching the Champions League, and it was always live at like 2 p.m. So we'd get there and there for 12, have like a meal or whatever, had a couple pints, and then it would come on at like 2 p.m.
That's nice.
Whereas in England it's like 8, 9 p.m. at night, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you get all the games in like the middle of the day, and then you're drinking all day. It was a one-off, like we weren't doing this all the time. Like drinking all day, and then you just meet people in the bar, you'd have a laugh. They got like, it's kind of like a Hooters. We were in a place called Shoeless Joe's. Fucking hilarious. And it's kind of like a Hooters. They got like all these girls in there, you know, tight fucking clothes on, nice bodies, whatever. They're all serving you, having a laugh. And then like the UFC comes on, and it'll start at like 6 or something, or like 7 o'clock. Whereas in England, we got to get up at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah,
So it's like a whole day of sports. So if you're into UK sports, you can literally have like a 12-hour slot of
good.
just eating, drinking, sports. You know, get a couple of lads there.
yeah.
Unbelievable,
Sounds
mate.
proper.
We should do it. We should all fly out. We should get
up
like
for that,
10 of
mate.
us fly out there,
We'll do
like
it.
a stag do or something, or a big birthday,
Yeah.
and just have like a giant, like go to Vegas or something and just have like a giant piss up from like 12 midday to like 5 in the morning. And just like when there's a big UFC event on, when there's like Champions League, like if it all falls on the same day, just watch it straight through. And then go out that night without it like ruining, because otherwise you have like a night out in England, you come back and then the boxing's on at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
This is pointless. I want to sleep now. I don't want to watch 12 rounds of boxing. You know what I mean? We should do some more fitness stuff. Otherwise, people will be like, tune in for fitness.
Yeah.
Funny though.
So I'm still sniffing.
Yeah, I've had it. I did the first like 5 or 6 discussions I had on this. You know, I've been doing those new discussion videos. Like the first 5 or 6, I'm like, you ever watch Kung Fu Hui? Was that it? Hong Kong Fooey?
Yeah.
Remember that cartoon back in the day?
I know,
the woman at the start where she had like the nasally voice. She's on like the telephone. She's like, I think she's like his assistant.
Yeah.
And she's like, Hong Kong Fooey, paging Hong Kong Fooey. She like buzzes through. That was me on every fucking episode at the start. Sounded like Lois Griffin from Family Guy. Yeah, it was horrible. But I was like, I've got to get these done. I've got to get them out there. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask you about, wasn't it, was for the Versus series. Was like body weight training. We won't go into it deep because I think I might chop this and make it into part of the Versus series. Yeah. It makes it easier, doesn't it? Yeah. But body weight training versus free weights or like bodybuilding. Because I know a lot of guys on here always commenting, they're always saying, oh, like body weight training, is it great? Calisthenics, you know, is this good? And I know it's like a great fad and I do think it's fantastic. But all the guys that are in amazing shape that do bodyweight training did like 6 years of weights before that, in my opinion. What do you think on like the two issues?
Well, I mean, I've got a few different kind of schools to draw from. My personal experience with natural bodybuilding. I mean, the one guy who just destroyed everyone. He came onto the natural bodybuilding scene about 5 years ago, and just blew everybody out of the water with his condition. His muscles, sinews were just insane. You could see everything.
Who was it? Someone famous?
I'm going to try and remember his name. Again, this was a natural bodybuilding scene. Yeah. But he'd been a powerlifter for 20 years. And the sheer muscle density he'd built by shifting those ridiculous amounts, your 300, 400 kilo deadlifts, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Just the graininess that he found in his muscle, I don't think you would find that from doing bodyweight stuff. So I think doing bodyweight stuff, being explosive and all that stuff, I think it's got its place. I think it's a great way to get in shape. It's a great way to burn calories. It's awesome the fact you can do it everywhere you be functional, but you tend to be quite skinny. I mean, most guys that just do bodyweight stuff wouldn't look great in a t-shirt. Yeah. But again, I think that's going also down to the kind of the modern standards for what a man should look like. You know, it's okay for a man to be, you know, have nice lean abs but be skinny. In fact, a lot of guys I've spoken to say that heartbreaking thing, which is, I don't want to get too big, or I don't want to get any bigger.
Heartbreaking thing.
Well, you wouldn't mind if my size always a big old lump, but we're talking about guys that are 6 foot tall. In fact, they're normally about 5'8" as well. But, you know, say they're 5'8", 6 foot tall, and these guys are weighing in at 10, 11 stone. You know, these are skinny little guys, in my opinion. Yeah. And then I don't want to get any bigger. And why? Because I like wearing skinny jeans. And I just
get a bigger size or custom made.
Yeah, just stuff.
But the thing is, what I don't realise is normal jeans will become skinny when you get bigger. Yeah. Like, you ever seen a rugby player in normal jeans? It looks like they're wearing skinny jeans. Yeah. Just gigantic legs, you know. Yeah. That's true. Where do you think that comes from?
What's that? The whole skinny jeans thing?
Well, yeah, as well. Yeah. I think that's Hera, that brand. The guy who started them grew up in my area. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he used to drive around in a Lamborghini and just park wherever he wanted, get tickets, like £400 in tickets a month, and just be like, he was making millions at one point. Crazy. But the whole culture of I don't want to get too big.
Yeah, so the whole culture, I don't want to, yes, it's...
Because very few people are too big. Yeah. It's very rare, isn't it? You sit like, I look at you and I'm like, yeah, you could get bigger. Yeah. Yeah, get bigger. Yeah. Get bigger, Steve.
And I think that's the thing to realise.
Fucking steroids. Let's go. That is the thing. Me and you just do a cycle.
Oh,
with my shaved head. Imagine.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, I can actually. Let's fucking do it.
Oh. See, that's an interesting one as well. So down to testosterone. In fact, I'm going to give you a picture which you can put up on this later. Yeah. Of a guy called Pete who's 82 years old, who I've shown you before. The six-pack.
I saw it on your Instagram.
So Pete's a classic example of old school.
Pete's in better shape than me.
He's in better shape than most men.
Yeah.
Started lifting weights at 50 years old. Done it naturally. Didn't have any hormone replacement therapy. And for 30 years he's built muscle. He's got abs.
He didn't have any?
No, he's just done it naturally. Done it naturally.
Well, just kept lifting, kept training.
Just kept lifting, kept training. And I think,
kept fucking. A lot of sex.
I'm sure he does.
Oh,
yeah. He does. But, I think herein lies a lot of the problem. Is the fact that, a couple of things. Pete's old school. When I said to him, I said, can I add you on Facebook? He's not on Facebook.
Yeah.
I said, mate, if I want to pick your brains, I'll get you on like a podcast like this because I'd be fascinated to speak to you.
We should get him on.
He gave me a landline number. He said,
That's old school.
Yeah, he said, call me around. If I'm not around, he said, I've got an answer machine you can leave a message on. I thought, bloody hell.
I got a funny story about that.
Yeah.
My mate lost his phone. Had nothing at the time when he was broke. He lost his job, so he was like, I can't even get a fucking phone. So we're on a night out, and this girl, like nice looking girl, comes up to him, and he was like, mate, I can't pass this one up. She was like, what's your number? And he was like, 01453, you know, the whole landline thing.
Yeah.
And she was like, what? It was like proper old school, like 1960s shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, my mum picks up, just ask for me.
Wow.
He was like 22 at the time. I was like, fucking hell, buddy, you can't do that. Just give her my number or something, and I'll just like pass you over. Do you know what I mean? But
sorry, Bob. But
go ahead.
To my
Yeah.
point on Pete, actually, I just remember what I was going to say. Yeah. Again, 82 years old, so he was born in what year? You know, 1920, 1940?
40, you know, yeah.
He was brought up in a time where there were no such thing as shortcuts. So I guess he would have lived through the Second World War.
It ended 4 years later. 1944
well, there we go.
Or 45.
Okay, so, but
44, right?
There we go. So he'd have been brought up by guys coming from a world that have gone through a war. Yeah. They've gone through a lot of hardship. All this stuff's gone on. And he'd have been brought up in a world where there was no such thing as shortcuts. There weren't supplements. There weren't quick fixes. There weren't, do this, do that therapy. Everything would have been taught to him. It's about hard work and it's about persistence. And I think, again, building character, building a strong anything takes adversity. And, men traditionally in different cultures had a rite of passage. Mm-hmm. There was that thing that people had to go through. In the 300, they called it Yagogi, that challenge when he has to spear the wolf in the darkness.
Yeah.
But men had that rite of passage. That was. Yeah. And we've lost that. We've lost that rite of passage. And I think that's the problem. Because we don't have, there's never a point where we have our rite of passage. There's never a point where we become a man. And being a man shouldn't be easy. It should be hard won. You should have to work for it because it's the end product of the adversity that makes the man. Otherwise, being a man is worth nothing. This is why what we were saying earlier about being a man is freaking awesome because it's bloody earned.
What was that quote you said to me that one time? When I was texting you saying, trying to get this sorted, trying to get that, like things are crazy right now. You said the toughest somethings are forged in. I
think, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire or something like that.
I think you text me something like that, yeah. Yeah. And that saying's quite old, isn't it? But it's so synonymous. Like, more people need to recognise that. Yeah. I was talking to a girl at work behind the desk the other day. You come in the morning and you're just like, morning to the receptionist and whatever. And she was just like, oh, yeah, my life's going real bad. I was like, whoa, okay. And I was like, what's going on? Just quickly, she's like, oh, this, that. And I was like, look, I'm 27. I've probably had 20 shit years. I was like, the fact that I'm even back here doing like 1 or 2 days a week for this company is to fund what I used to do. I was like, MSI College used to run itself and I used to earn fucking thousands every fucking week doing it. Do you know what I mean? I had to go and get a part-time job to fund this. It's coming to an end now, like all this is picking back up, but people don't realize, they think I'm sat here, millionaire, life's great. It's like, you don't realize what I've been through just to redo this. Yeah. You don't realize what I did to do it in the first place, like to redo this. And I've got no shame because I love authenticity. I love being like, I've got like a part-time job to fund this as well as the money I make from it. Do you know what I mean? Like both of it combined together. And people are like, oh, fuck, really? Like you're in the same boat as us? And it's like, but I'm doing every day. But the point I was making is she was like, I think she's like 23 years old. Oh, my life's shit. It's not going here. It's not going there. It's like, it's not supposed to. Like, you don't come out the womb and be like, I'm Kylie Jenner. I'm a billionaire. No. Like, it's not like that. You get to 30 and hopefully, and I say hopefully, 25 years was shit. Hopefully. Because otherwise you're not going to be somebody who can handle life in the future. It's going to be too easy. You don't want it too easy. Like I said, my biggest fear is this. I think this in about 5 years is going to take out GQ. And I heard Gary Vaynerchuk the other day saying he wants to take out GQ. And I'm like, if he can do it from his side and I'm doing it from my side and we just push those motherfuckers out of the way and I can step in and actually provide value rather than here's a watch, here's some shorts, buy them because we're getting paid on the side and we're faking everything to you. If I can just push those guys out of the way and take that space. My biggest fear is that I start making multi-millions. I put my feet up. I wake up in silk sheets, and I'm just like silk pajamas and I'm chilling. Go ahead, mate. Get it up. It's that flu. It's that man flu.
Oh, it's the last little
brave through it. But like, I get comfortable. I start putting my feet up. I'm like, I'm going to start taking weekends off. and some kid in like Ghana or something is just eyeing me up like a steak and just going, I'm going to take you out. The same way that I look at GQ and I'm licking my lips, like the owner's gone, like this company's passed hands so many times. Your employees get to Friday, they go home, they don't give a fuck about the brand. They're thinking about going out drinking, and we're here doing this on a Friday. Yeah, that's might end up being me, and then some kid's gonna be licking his lips, being like, that guy got lazy. His content's shit now. He doesn't understand it. So I want to stay in the trenches. I want to be a millionaire I want to be a billionaire that rides the train with regular people, so I can see what they're wearing, what they're talking about, what technology they're using, how they're consuming content. You know, I want to live in not a rough area, but I want to be like in a penthouse somewhere like East London, so I can still be in the nitty gritty and take it all in. I still want to go to a shit gym where there's like blood on the punch bag. Do you know what I mean? Just stay amongst it, just to keep that passion. I never want to get like lazy and sloppy. I just feel like there's one way to just get soft and just forget. Like I see all these old heads, they're like 70 years old running financial companies. They have no idea. They're like, oh, let's drop 20 grand on a marketing email. You're like, fuck. You're going to get like a 1% ratio coming back the other way. Yeah. Like just start putting content out there and treating people like humans. Lawyers, solicitors, those sort of people, they're the other ones. Yeah. We want your money. You're like, just tell people how to win a case. Just provide stuff for free. Yeah. Just like, oh, if you're ever in this situation, here's how you win it. And then don't ask for anything. And what people will do is they'll ask for stuff. Like nobody understands if you just give stuff out for free and provide that value like we are here. Yeah. People then go, fuck, I like these guys. They're authentic. They're asking me for nothing. They're giving all the best shit to me for free. And they look like genuine, normal guys. I'm going to keep supporting the brand or like following the brand. You know what I mean? And being part of the community. And that's how you build it. I don't get it.
I mean, this is what I've got on my phone and my screensaver, you know, give more than you get.
Yes.
All the time I was focused on what can I get, how can I get money, how can I get that person to give me this for whatever I'm selling. I was always chasing money. And as soon as I started focusing on creating value, I've never had to chase clients, because that's the thing. I'm in a business of improving people's confidence, their self-esteem, making them feel great. I have a session with a client and he's not having a great situation with his boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever, come home. And I'd send him a little WhatsApp message, you know, great session today. If you need me, I've got your back, brother, you know, doing really great, making good progress. That makes such a difference. And I'm not doing that to get anything back. I'm not doing it for praise, but accumulatively those things add up. And then last year was insane. I gave a homeless guy my jacket I bought the day before. It's only a TK Maxx, wasn't a fortune, but I bought him a jacket because it was freaking snowing in Fulham. I gave him my jacket, and it made me feel good because I thought I can do something more for this guy. I bought him dinner, gave him a jacket. The very next day, a client comes up in the gym and says, "Can you take on new clients?" Things like that don't happen in my environment. Guys have to hustle for clients. Yeah. A couple of days later, another client turned up and he was 20 minutes late for a session. I could have gone home. I had somewhere to be. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to give him a bit of extra time. And I went out and I bought him some dinner because he was starving, sat him down, gave him food afterwards. As I'm leaving the gym, 30 minutes late, a guy comes up, one of the guys on reception said, oh, this guy looks for a trainer, sign him up there and then. But it's all of these little, you could call them coincidence things that happen. Once you start putting out that good value.
There's definitely an energy that you give out though, isn't there? Like I remember when I first saw you in that same gym, I was like, that guy knows what he's doing. Like that's definitely an alpha male. Yeah. But the thing is as well, like when I was saying before this to you, like you're a fantastic personal trainer. Like your results, because I know you and I've seen you in the gym, I've seen you training, I've seen the guys that you trained, and you know there's a lot of like body transformation pictures out there that are fake as fuck. Steroids, Instagram, Photoshop.
Yeah, sadly.
Yours are legit because I've seen the guys you're training and I've seen them before and after. Yeah. You know, so these guys trust me, they trust you as well. Like when it comes to fitness knowledge, they need to get on board with what you're saying. And you know, just seeing that, like seeing what you've done with those guys is absolutely phenomenal. What would you say? Because obviously, like you've been there, you've done it. You're the best person to speak on this. How many people have taken on fitness journeys and got halfway there, nowhere, dropped out? You know, they've been training for 2-3 years, getting nowhere. Like you've done it. You've taken people who are in terrible shape to great shape. Yeah. Or you've taken people who are in good shape to unbelievable shape and made those leaps. What would you say are like the main 5 or 10 things that you have to do to get there? Or is it not as complex as that?
It probably is and it isn't, so I'll give you 2 answers. But really, it's number one is your motive. It all boils down to your motive. Like a lot of people try and give up smoking. They say it's super hard. They'll try hypnotherapy. They'll try this. They'll try patches. This, that, the other. it doesn't matter. When you really, really, really want to give up smoking.
Sorry, mate, watch it. My mate did this before on a podcast a few times.
Sorry, right, yeah.
For some reason, it ricochets up and it sounds like an earthquake.
Oh, we don't want to.
I don't want to risk it just in case,
Okay.
but it should be fine.
But if you really, really want to give up smoking, you know, if you're told you've got a week to live, but if you give up smoking, you'll live for 20 years, you'll give it up in a split second.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
And it's the same when it comes to getting in shape. You've got to understand why getting in shape is going to massively get you more sex. It's going to help you live longer. It's going to make you feel better. You're going to walk out the door and just feel amazing. You're going to make more money. You've got to link the physical goal with as many benefits, and you've got to be able to emotionally and tangibly experience that result.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my job as a coach. Is step one is to speak to the client, and if I can't get it to an 8 or a 9 out of 10, why right now is the time for somebody to take on this program. If there's not enough emotion in there that's going to really motivate them to do it, I won't take them on.
It's a good rule of thumb.
Yeah, because you can give them everything else, doesn't matter. There'll always be something that's more appealing than sticking to your plan if it's not there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. What's the motive?
Yeah.
I'd say number two is probably a really big one now. I mean, obviously there's hydration, there's food and all the rest of it. But it's making sure that you don't go too hard on yourself. So you set bite-sized goals. So you give yourself, wherever you're at now, if you want to get a six-pack, if you want to bench 100 kilos and you're lifting 20 kilos right now, and you say, right, I'm going to do that in 3 months. You're not going to do that in 3 months. Just not realistic.
Yeah.
But
it's a big leap.
It's a big leap. But you say you can bench 40 now. Right, I'm going to bench 42.5 kilos at the end of this week, and then you hit it. And the next week you're going to go 45 and you hit it. So you create these little micro wins. And what that does, that creates momentum in your mind, and you start to feel more alpha. That changes your hormones. You start to feel better, and you create a habit of winning. And then it becomes harder and harder and harder for you to fail because you're in the habit of hitting your targets.
It becomes fun as well.
It becomes fun.
Because you see the changes. It's a message I had for years. I was like, if you want to get in shape, do 2 weeks like a lunatic with no day off. Just go crazy, like treat it like a military thing. And then look in the mirror and go, oh, I like this. Yeah. And I guarantee you won't quit. Just get started.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. Go on. I like contributing.
That's it. No, that's it. I mean, reinforcing is always good.
Yeah.
That's it. Number three, and again, this goes back to that masculinity thing, but it's intensity. It's that intensity. Mm-hmm. I've had guys who just can't get angry.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, get angry. Like, I'm the most passive guy in the world. Like, I haven't had a fight in God knows how many years. I'm the happiest, chirpiest guy. I might look up, but I'm really, you know, I don't like confrontation, right? But when I'm in the gym, I get freaking angry.
It's got to come from somewhere, right?
It's got to come from somewhere, and I channel it in my training.
That's probably why you're not an angry guy. You haven't had a fight because you're channeling it into your training.
I love
it's
it.
a good way to do it.
Even talking about it now, you can tell.
Mate, just lift something. Lift something.
Well, there's nothing heavy enough.
Just curl me.
Anyways, yeah,
Good. Like I said, it's a good job we didn't drink.
Yeah.
We need to do one though. To get hammered and do the podcast.
Just
ruin the brand.
Yeah. So intensity. You just got to make sure that you really push it every time you're doing a rep. As soon as a rep starts to hurt, you need to push the extra 5-10%. If you stop when it hurts, it's super simple. My 6-year-old niece can figure it out. If it's comfortable, then your body's already adapted to it. If it's uncomfortable, your body has to go away and readapt. So you have to constantly push just a little bit harder, and then you'll move forward. So you've got bite-sized goals, you've got your mindset, and you've got training intensity. And then, of course, it's about moving what we call move the big rocks first. So you imagine you've got a basket full of rocks, right? And you've got big rocks, medium rocks, small rocks, and you know that they will completely fill up that basket. Now, if you put in the little rocks first, and then the medium rocks, and then the big rocks, they wouldn't all fit in. So you have to put the big rocks in, and the medium rocks fall in the gaps, and little rocks. Mm-hmm. It's a bit like when people talk about supplements. So you start with the basics. Are you drinking enough water? Mm-hmm. If you're drinking 3 litres of water a day for a 90, 100 kilo male like me, you're straight away, you're going to burn more fat, you're going to have more energy, your immune system's going to be stronger, you're going to build more muscle. So the best muscle building supplement is water.
So the big rocks are the basics, the foundations.
The basics. Get the basics and do the basics consistently. And that's it. I mean, we look at 8-year-old Pete. He'd have done the basics. He'd have eaten meat, veg, drank water, and works out. Nothing fancy, but consistency, and you've got the result. Again, having that grit. And then I'd say number 5, I mean, not necessarily all in that order, but it's obviously making sure you've got your food sorted out, but sleep as well. We grow when we sleep. And this is what people don't realise. There'll be people that will hit chest. So I want to grow my chest. So I'll bench 3-4 times a week. Well, you're tearing muscle fibres. The muscle fibre grows back thicker and stronger. If you keep tearing it, it doesn't really get a chance to grow back. So you hit a plateau. So you hit it hard. You eat, you rest, you sleep, and when you rest, that's when you actually grow. So if you can do all of those things consistently and keep, bear in mind your goal, reward yourself when you get those little bite-sized wins. Give yourself a little reward. And then there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Have you? It's so true though, because you ever had a rest day and just looked in the mirror and been like, oh my God, I look double the size.
Well, you nailed it earlier. Who's it you quoted? Ronnie Coleman?
It was Ronnie Coleman.
So what happened there?
I watched a documentary on him. Sad, isn't it? The state he's in now.
Yeah,
but he, in his early career, he was really struggling. People don't know this. Like, he couldn't succeed based on what I gathered from the documentary. Like, he was really struggling. One of the guys who was a bit more experienced, who had won some stuff, was like, went into his hotel room at the night, like just the night before the competition, and was like, look, buddy, you're so stressed all the time. Like, he was doing press-ups that night. Like, he was still training, like doing curls, and he was like, you need to relax. Like, this is your problem. You're so uptight. Your muscles don't look good. And he was like, what do you do before a competition? He was like, vodka. So he just sat there, he was pouring out vodka, and they were having like, I don't know what it was with. Maybe they were doing straight vodka, but they were just sipping it, talking about fitness. He was like dropping the knowledge on him. And Ronnie got pissed out of his head and like went to sleep that night. And he was, I think he had to put him to bed, this other guy. So he puts him to bed.
Yeah.
The next morning he knocks on his door because he's like fast asleep. Obviously he's like hammered drunk.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So he's hungover. He like opens the door, whatever, like goes in, sees him. And he said Ronnie got up and he was just like, it was all there. It's like the best shape he'd ever seen him in. And he realized like it was, I know vodka obviously like drags it out of you and drains you, but he was relaxed. Like he was de-stressed. He was chilled. He woke up and he was just like, hey man, what's going on? And it was like, it just changed his mentality completely. And from then on, like he started, adopting different techniques. And I think kind of just having that downtime to just let your body, what would it be, just adapt like chemically or physiology? Like,
you've just hit upon an absolute freaking bombshell, actually. Like a really, really powerful thing, and I can't believe I didn't think of it. But there's a hormone in the body. Now, I can't remember the name of it, so I'll go where we'll find it out. We'll put it up in the graphics later.
Yeah.
But there's a hormone in the body that has 2 routes it can take. It's like the red pill and the blue pill in the Matrix, right? The one pill is the root of the handbagitis. Basically, when you get really stressed out, what happens is this hormone goes into producing cortisol, which is the flight or fight hormone, which breaks down the muscle, which causes a lot of the health issues that we have. Yeah. In the short term, it sharpens the mind and it makes us ultra alert because, it's literally like we're being attacked by an alligator, but it's used up for stress. The other option it has is the blue pill, if that was the other way, which is testosterone. So guess what? If we're stressed out all the time and our body's turning this hormone completely into cortisol,
DHT.
There's nothing left for testosterone. So what you said about relaxing, I can totally relate to. So this is why, guys, if you're super, super stressed and, you've got a missus, whatever, get laid. Have a couple of days off.
Yeah.
Relax. Watch some crap on TV. Put your feet up. Eat a pizza. I did that a month out from a competition, actually, one of my bodybuilding comps. I was pushing harder and harder and harder. And I got to a point where my condition just didn't seem to get better. And my mentor said to me, right, Steve, for the next 2 days, because I've been bearing in mind I've been eating no fruit. He said, next 2 days, no protein. I just want to eat loads and loads of fruit, have a bit of ice cream, just have some sugar, all this kind of stuff. Did it. Next day, I was a little bit bloated. 2 days later, shredded to bits, looks incredible. Mm-hmm. Because my nervous system's gone, relax.
Is the chemical DHT? Because I know you need DHT.
It might be.
Yeah.
I'll double check. Yeah.
You need DHT to be able to create estrogen. And it's like an offshoot of testosterone.
Okay.
It's like an extreme version of it. Yeah. It's weird. I personally think you're in the best shape I've seen you in now.
Thank you very much. I admire your candor.
Yeah. You look great, buddy. How'd you get... Because when I first met you, I was like, this guy's in great shape. Yeah. But you went from like... And I'm not saying this in like a sexual sense, but you went from like an 8 to a 10. Straight 10 over it. No, but in terms of like physique, it just went from like, this guy's in great shape to fuck, I don't know if you can improve from here. You know, you see the guys that are on like Instagram, you're like, oh shit, like Steve's there. Like, I don't know how much further you can go. Like some of those videos we did together, there's some clips at the start, like when you're stood there and you're talking to people, especially in the most recent one where it's like, oh fuck, like you are you're big but shredded. Like kind of that ultimate goal that a lot of guys want. So they go bulk, shred, loads of times. Like you're big, but you got the abs as well. I've sucked your dick so hard on this podcast. That's the second podcast in a row I've talked about sucking dick.
I was going to say, your kind of beard's chafing a bit down.
Is it?
Line,
Better wipe,
yes,
better wipe that off. Sorry, but
stragglers as well.
Yeah, I'll shave all this in a minute.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Little purdy mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
But tickle your balls a little.
Let's get a little bit
problem.
Less, right, let's get a little bit less deliverance now.
Yeah. I showed my missus that yesterday for the first time. Is that law of attraction? I hope not. Because I think about some crazy shit.
Yeah, that was like big.
Yeah. It's like we plan these out. Tenacious D.
Oh right, yeah. Legends.
We've gone off topic a lot.
Oh, I don't know.
Funny though. I think people will enjoy it,
yeah.
especially on a weekend. This kind of shit you need. If you're staying in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Interesting story actually.
Go on.
Remember I told you about Sam Asghari?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy Samwise Gandhi. No, the guy.
Isn't that one of the
I was kidding. I combined like 4 people then. I should have done it.
Samwise Gandhi.
No, it was Samwise. What was it? Samwise Gandhi.
I'm sure that's one of the hobbits. I'm sure
it is one of the hobbits. I was just wondering if that's the real name.
Probably is.
Samwise the Brave.
Or we call him that.
Fuck it. I don't know. I feel like I'm high and I haven't even smoked.
There you go.
I'm high on life, Steve.
That's good.
Yeah, but he's dating Britney Spears now, and before that, dating a string of models, been in loads of music videos. I met him when he had like 2,000 followers, but he was in great shape. And I did the interview with him. That's why MSI College blew up, because all these big companies were like, this guy, who is this guy? And I'm like the only fucking interview on there. And it was back when he was vulnerable. So he was like telling me everything. You know, there's no PR guy going, don't tell him about that. You know, leave that out. You know, he was just like, boom, told me everything. He said he was going to be a police officer. And he said he was already lifting weights and shit. He was in like pretty big shape. But he was like a fat guy. And this is one thing that I've like written about lately, is that fat guys are 50. I think you should really like sell the fuck out of this. Fat guys are like 50% there on ways like towards having their perfect body. Yeah. And he was a fat guy. And instead of like doing what fat guys do and going, oh, treadmill, I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to do like fucking chicks shit, right? You know, like female stuff. Yeah. I'm just going to get on the treadmill and run, and I'm going to look like Steve. Right? And he said what he did is lifted heavy weights. Like he trained, lifted heavy, and he was like, if I turn all this fat to muscle, I'm going to be big and shredded. You know, and he said all he did was like, he kept lifting heavy and eating shit. He was like, I kept that going for a while. He was like, and then I changed my diet. He was like, I decided to go, okay, let me eat healthy. And he said when he put the two together, but kept lifting heavy, it was like the whole body came together. I like that. And I did something recently. There's another guy as well called Ramses Principe. I personally think in terms of like thickness, like that's the perfect like male body in terms of like proportion, like everything from the ass to the thighs, like chest. Like might be some supplements in that. I don't know. Yeah. Seems like it isn't, because he was massive, like fat before, and looks like a legit guy, like the way he trains. I've only spoken to him on email, but I want to get out to Miami and do some filming with him. He's had a string of models, girlfriends. Yeah, he's doing some damage.
What a guy.
Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. Funny guy. But I definitely think there's something to like being like a big, fat, heavy guy, because that whole bulk, then having to cut that body fat, having to cut the body fat when you're a skinny guy is tough, right? But I see a lot of guys that are like Sam Asghari, like Ramses, that kind of like started big, just kept lifting weights, just turned that fat to muscle, and they're in the perfect position. And I feel like so many guys, and it pisses me off. Like I see a fat guy in the gym, like real heavy fat guy, and I've got no problem with saying fat guy because I feel like it's a benefit, whereas people fat shame, and they're on the treadmill. And I'm like, buddy, you've done the bulking. Yeah. Just lift heavy fucking weights and eat clean, but eat the same amount. Yeah. That fat will start to turn to muscle, and because you've got so much of it, you're gonna shred fat easier. Like you said, when you were bigger, it was easier for you, which maybe that's why you got the best shape you got now, because you're bigger. Yeah. But also, having that extra ballast allows you to do compound lifts heavier. So your deadlift, your squat is going to be through the fucking roof. Like it could be day one and you could be deadlifting like 200 kg with ease because you're so heavy, and it's going to get quicker gains. But everyone throws that shit out the window and goes treadmill. And you're like, now you're skinny fat. Now you just look awkward. Yeah. Winds me up. Yeah. Lost my voice. That's how passionate I am.
Yeah. I mean, you're spot on.
Is that right? Because that's something I've been putting out there and I feel passionate about it, but asking an expert.
Well, it's funny because myself and a mate of mine, Simon Chivers, basically we competed against each other head to head, natural bodybuilding, 7-8 shows, and we actually got trained by a guy called Rehan Jalali at one point.
What's his name?
Rehan Jalali.
That's a lovely name.
It's quite
It's a lovely name. Where's he from?
I don't know. It's an Indian heritage name. But
It's a lovely name.
There we go.
It's a lovely name.
Rehan, it's a lovely name you got there, buddy. I'll tell you that. But he's a personal trainer to the stars. So he's trained Ben Affleck for the recent Batman films. Bruce Willis, Sly Stallone.
Any steroids?
25 years in the Hollywood business.
Any steroids? Any secrets?
Well, you know, exactly. He couldn't divulge too much.
Yeah,
He was very candid. We asked him about Ben Affleck.
But
he said, well, there are certain techniques we used.
Yeah.
He said, so basically, but he wouldn't say it. You know, but he's written a book on supplements and nutrition, this, that, the other. And he said the optimum fat amount for muscle building is 15% body fat. So
really?
He said 15% body fat is optimum for muscle building. Any more than that, and it's not beneficial because of hormones, this, that, and the other. But even though this guy's got a doctorate, Simon and I came up with the idea of outlifting the science.
Okay, yeah.
So the idea is that we get freaking big, and if we can deadlift an extra 40 kilos, just the sheer stress that's going to put on our bone structure has to make us put on mass.
Yeah.
So we were eating silly amounts.
Is that low battery for the...
Is that died?
Right, battery went on the camera, but we're back.
As did the pizza.
Yeah, the set has been changed. That's going to be a weird clip, just jumping from that to that. I should just edit it in.
Right.
I don't have that skill set. What were we talking about just before?
It was fat people, wasn't it?
It was fat people.
Fat people and Rehan Jalali.
Yeah, what a name.
That final Harry Potter book that was never quite written.
Yeah. And the philosophers, Rehan Jalali.
That's it. So yeah, so this guy, Hollywood personal trainer, Ben Affleck, Sly Stallone, all that jazz.
Quick recap.
All the big names, Bruce Willis. Written books on nutrition, got a doctorate in all this kind of stuff.
Because you were talking about that 15%.
Yeah, exactly.
And you were gonna break the limit.
Yeah, because my mate Si and I were kind of saying to him, look, surely if you look at Eddie Hall, you look at the world's strongest men, a lot of these big boys, Brian Shaw, they've got a big old derby on them, they've got a big old belly on them, and insanely strong.
Derby.
So does it help to have fat? And he said, well, for muscle growth, from bodybuilding point of view, 15% body fat is the optimum amount to have the nutrients, etc., to build the muscle, build the strength. But we came up with the idea of outlifting the science, because we watched the Eddie Hall documentary, and this was the funny thing with me and Simon. We would watch one documentary about the ripped guy and think, I want to be like that guy.
And then watch the other one.
Then we watch Eddie Hall lifting 500 kilos, eating 11,000 calories a day, and we're like, fuck it, I want to be Eddie Hall. I want to eat ice cream, So we go down that route, and you're like, do I want to bulk? Do I want to cut? Do I want to bulk? Do I want to cut? But we came up with the idea in the end is you outlift the science. You outlift the science. If you can lift 300 kilo deadlifts, whereas when you're leaner, you can only lift 200 kilos. Yeah, you might not be as fit and healthy, and maybe being overweight is going to affect your hormones and this, that, and the other. But if you've lifted 300 kilos, it's got to do something to your bone structure, something to your central nervous system. So I'm certainly not saying everyone should go out and get fat, but certainly putting on the 15 kilos, so 2 stone of weight that I put on when I benched my 180 kilo lifetime goal last
How many?
year. 180 kilos.
Okay, yeah.
So 4 plates. So I'm quite happy. It's a natural bodybuilder,
Bench.
not bad. Bench, yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, 2 reps as well. Ooh.
That's very good.
Yeah, I'll give you the footage later. Post it.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll put it out. Yeah. This whole video is going to be me just adding clips of different shit.
But having that extra timber made me stronger. But I felt sluggish and I felt horrible when I cut it down.
It's the trade-off, isn't it?
It is. But I think it's almost, it's going to sound really, really cheesy.
Yeah.
But I look at it like abs being like a butterfly. And
coming out of that cocoon.
Exactly.
You're allergic to your own bullshit.
Oh, I think I am. Here we go. Oh, it's getting stuck in my throat. That's what she said. Anyway, oh dear, we degraded. But you look at like a chrysalis. You look at a fat person with all their rolls, like the Michelin Man. Look, it's like a caterpillar, right? They eat and eat, they get fatter, and underneath it is a ripped up person. And then it comes out the chrysalis, which in our case is the fat. We shred the fat.
That's a lovely word.
And now we've got a big muscle mass underneath. But I think it's very difficult just to build lean muscle mass. So you have to kind of fatten yourself up to some extent, lift heavy, eat lots, sleep lots, build the bulk, and cut.
Mm-hmm. And also you build the nuclei as well. So when you're getting big, you're getting that extra ballast and you're lifting heavy, you're building that extra nuclei in the muscles, which is going to create muscle memory. So even if you do shred down at some point, when you go back to heavy lifting on a clean diet, you're naturally going to just pad up a lot quicker. I've had that in the last month or two. But last year I was like 102 kilograms. Like that was always the target. And I forced myself there with just stupid food. I hit like Christmas was the last month. So I just like caked it on. I probably put on, it was almost unbelievable. I must put on like 5-6 kilograms in a month. Which is it's supposed to be impossible, right?
That's mad, yeah.
But with creatine, food, like everything, I just went. Ba-dum. I remember like every week I get on the scales, it'd be about 1 kilogram heavier.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it happened. And I've always played football all my life, and it's always like I've always been lean. And it was like the first year where I'd really attacked it and gone for it. So I think my body is like my uncle and my dad are really big.
Yeah.
So I think my body was like, okay, this is where you were supposed to be. So my body was just following this kind of natural rhythm. But I packed it on so fucking quick from just eating a lot of shit. But the strength I gained in that time, oh my God. Deadlift went up by like, from when I started to when I finished, about 120 kilograms. Bench must have gone up from 80 to about 130.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy like year of my life. Like every PB got broke weekly and then monthly on a consistent basis. And it was fun. Which brings me on to something I wanted to talk to you about. Aesthetics, which we'll do a versus video at some point. I might sit and do one, or if you're in the country, we'll do one.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. That'd be a good debate. Should we just do that? Fuck it, Marvel podcast.
That's it.
Should we just change the channel completely?
That's it. Yeah.
Aesthetics versus strength. So I was talking to a guy the other day who's like recently gone from strength to aesthetics, and I've been in the same scenario where it's like you could be the strongest guy in the gym, but you don't look like the best guy in the gym. And it's like, what's the fucking point of being the strongest guy in the gym when in this era we're not fending our families from Vikings? We're not. People don't know that you're like the strongest. You're not going to walk past a girl and she's going to be like strength. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to be like, he's fucking strong, look at him. Like, she's not going to know unless you go over there and start benching her.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy who's got like gigantic, probably could, just easy. Come here, love. One on each arm, 50 kg. Is that what you want?
Oh yeah.
Little bench
Don't be
press.
shy.
Yeah. But you could do. Oh, where was I going with this, Steve? It's been a long night.
Should one be looking fantastic?
So there we go, right? Yeah, so you get a guy who's like got an unbelievable, like he's unbelievably cut. He looks massive.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not even massive, but he's just like lean, like sexy lean, like a decent size, kind of like one of these Instagram models.
Yeah.
People are going to gravitate towards that guy. And a girl's going to be like, look at his muscles, he must be so strong. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, but I could outlift that guy in the gym easy. But nobody knows because we're not walking around the street wrestling each other, are we? Or like showing our strength and being like, look at me, I fought off that Viking horde. So it's just kind of pointless, don't you think? So where do you stand on like strength versus aesthetics?
It's a difficult question to ask because it all depends on motive, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Like if you look at the fact that the main indicator more than anything else in life expectancy of a man over 40 is lean muscle mass.
Yeah.
Now, when you have lean muscle mass, when you actually put a lot of weight through your body structure, so a big deadlift, a big squat, etc., it creates kind of little micro tears in the bone density, so it offsets things like osteoporosis, etc. It massively boosts your immune system. So lifting big is important, being strong is important, and it's actually proven that in later life it can prevent things like Alzheimer's, etc. as well. So it is very important, and of course, with testosterone levels high, we know that lifting big weights, being strong, is going to lead to increased testosterone, which leads to more energy, more vitality, greater confidence, etc., etc. So you can have a guy in the gym who's super ripped, but is not massively strong, is depleted all the time. And actually, one thing that I found, it's going to sound weird, but one thing that I liked about prep for a competition is for the last month or 6 weeks before a show, I had no sex drive. Like zero sex drive.
So you were focused on training?
It wasn't that.
No?
Yeah, but it wasn't that. It was literally because I was depleted all the time, because I was literally shredded to the bone.
Yeah.
I didn't have any fat or I didn't have any fuel in my body. I had no interest in sex. I was like a ripped up eunuch. It was the weirdest thing.
Survival mode.
It was the weirdest thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All these women throwing themselves at you because you're shredded, and you're like, well, I don't know if I want it.
That's the irony. So you need a little bit. I mean, yeah. I think I've got a balance now actually where I'm at. I've got a good amount, but But it's a tough question. I mean, but I think right now, I mean, as I mentioned before, I'm 37 now, and I all my life wanted to get bigger. At one point, I was on the ice cream diet, which was literally I go to Tesco's, find the tub that had the most calorie on it, and end up eating like the Tesco Valley Cornish ice cream, melting it in a thermos and drinking it purely for calories to put on weight. And I got heavy, but it was ugly. I didn't look good. I didn't feel good. I didn't move good.
I feel like that's necessary though. Do you know, like in success, you might have to stay in every weekend for 4 or 5 years before you can end up getting the Ferrari, the penthouse, the woman you want, etc. Like in everything in sport, you got to stay. When all your mates are going out drinking on a weekend, you got to stay in and train, get up early. There's sacrifices everywhere. With fitness, do you think there's a sacrifice where it's like for men, you might have to get fat to get big and shredded? Is that necessary? Because I used to think it was.
So there's a lot of money in weight gainers. And most weight gainers you're paying for nothing really. It's just
well, like these mass gainers.
A lot of these mass gainers, there's nothing. It's not great nutrition. It's just pure calories. It's pure sugars. It's just things that will weigh you down. And carbs will make you hold water, so you can very, very quickly put on weight.
So it might look like, because I was using mass gainer and creatine, and that's when I put on like 6 kilograms in like a quick space of time over Christmas as well. Bit of alcohol. Guinness was the one. Just retained it all. Got on the scales like 102, but I couldn't breathe.
No,
I was finding it hard to move.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible, and you're right. You're basically a heart attack on legs.
Yeah, I felt like it. Yeah, a few pains right there.
Yeah,
that's why I stopped. I was like, I'm gonna have to stop this because I put on like a lot of weight too quickly.
Yeah,
it's dodgy.
So if you are going to do the weight thing, you do it through food. Do it through natural fats. Even things like peanut butter aren't too bad.
Got
chucking
some there,
peanut butter in every meal to get calories in that way. I had a client and he just didn't want to eat dirty. Just did not want to eat dirty, and it really took a lot of convincing. And in the end, I said, look, what we'll do is we'll add half an avocado to a shake 3 times a day with like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, some oats. So it's still fairly clean stuff. A bit
dark
of milk,
chocolate, something like that.
Foods, exactly. Yeah. And he put on like a stone in the space of like a month, and it wasn't the cleanest. He should have done it.
How much is a stone in kilograms?
7 kilos.
Because these Americans are like...
Yeah, 7 kilos.
Huh?
Well, right, if we're talking American, then it's, 2.2 pounds per kilo, so 16 pounds, 17 pounds, give or take. Yeah.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but you know what? But he got what he wanted. He wanted to bench 110 kilos. He was plateaued at 100.
It's a weird number.
He was able to do it. So I know, but it's because he was stuck at 100. To get the next.
Yeah.
So we got him to that, and we got him a few PBs.
Whoa.
And now he's dropped the weight. The PB's come down a little bit, but he's higher than he was. So it was worth putting on the bulk for a few months to do it. So.
Yeah. So you'd recommend just taking longer to get there. So instead of like being, that shortcut to success of like, I'm going to get big, I'm just going to eat crap and get big in a fake way and then lose it all at some point and it's a waste of your time. You think just do it naturally.
And you know what? I think put on about do the 7 kilos, do the 16 pounds weight increase, do it over 6 months, then sit at that weight. So maintain your calories and just focus on getting stronger and stronger and stronger without being morbidly obese. And then because you built the muscle, and the muscle is the only part of the body that burns fat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you've now got a bigger engine. Yeah. So it becomes easier and easier to get rips. Now this year over Christmas, I spent 3 weeks with 0 working out. I drank alcohol and mulled wine pretty much every day, ate chocolate pretty much every day, absolute crap. After the Christmas period, I was 5 kilos heavier, 10 pounds. After that, literally 3 or 4 days later, I was just 2 kilos heavier than when I started. And without saying arrogant, I looked in the mirror a couple of days ago and they looked fantastic. And I was like, well, because you
got a giant muscle mass burning that off.
Burning it off. Yeah. So that goes back to what you said earlier. Do your weight training. Don't just do your cardio nonsense.
Me and you had that discussion, didn't we?
Yeah.
Had the discussion a couple of months back when I said, like, how's your cut going? You're like, easiest one ever. And I was like, that happened to me. The more muscle mass I had, the easier it was to shred it all. Yeah. So much easier. Well,
this is another classic myth as well. The myth that, once you get past a certain age, it gets harder to build muscle. And, you can't really build muscle once you pass 30. And it's harder to lose weight once you pass. You know what? If you start early enough, all you're doing is just building it. It's like putting money in the bank and getting a compound interest over years. I basically got compound interest on my muscle, which is freaking great. Mm-hmm. Compound gains.
We should do that. Compound gains, yeah. And they got to sign up for 20 years in advance. Trust me, 20th year, you're gonna be in great shape.
That was in a film actually, wasn't it? CIA. You seen it with Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah, I have actually with Kevin Hart.
That's it.
When he's fat and then he's like, "What did you do?" And he was like, "It's real simple.
Yeah.
I just trained 8 hours a day every day, for 20 years." Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, so anybody can do it."
Yeah, exactly.
On that issue,
Yeah.
people have like 9-to-5 jobs. Everybody's busy. I see a lot of fitness trainers. This is my pet hate in the fitness industry. Anybody can do it. Anybody can get in shape. You have time. Stop making excuses. It's like, no, because a lot of you, this is your full-time job. You're in the gym 8 hours a day. You train for 2 of them. You get to go home and eat whenever you want. You maybe live close to a gym. Maybe you've got one in your garage. And he nearly said garage. I'm trying to be American for these guys.
Yeah.
Stay authentic.
Garage and in charge.
Garage. And a lot of these guys, I don't think they appreciate how little time people have had. Because they kind of like get in the gym at 16, get in great shape. By 21, they're being sponsored. They've never had that full-time job. And, they've got a skewed view of how the world is. And they're like, stop being fucking lazy. And you're like, no, like, appreciate what people are going through. Some people are on the bread line. They've got no money. They can't afford the bulking foods. Oh, it's cheap to bulk. It's like, it's easy to say when you've only got $10 or £10 in the bank account. It's easy to say it's cheap when you're getting sponsored by like Gymshark and you've got all day to train. Like, what can people do? Do you think? I personally think even going to the gym for like 20 minutes each day, if that's all you can fit in, is better than nothing, obviously, right? And people forget that. They're like, oh, I don't have a spare hour. It's like, go do 10 minutes, just do deadlifts for 10 minutes. Would you agree, or is there other things that you can do?
You're spot on.
Yeah.
You're spot on. Again, it goes back to that compound thing we said earlier. If you could start putting, £1 a day in the bank, it's going to build up. It might only be £1 where someone else might put a tenner in 3 times a week or whatever.
Like a weekend, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. You're both going to get there. But the point is consistency. And as you get stronger, you can train harder. You can lift more load. You're going to build more muscle. And again, because you've got a bigger and bigger engine, you're going from a 1 litre to a 2 litre to a 3 litre. It's going to get easier and easier to keep the fat off. You'll also have more energy. And so this is a thing that I talk about because I do a lot of speaking for entrepreneurs and talking about time. Time. Everyone's got the same amount of time in a day. But you look at people like Richard Branson. I know some of you don't think of as being fit because she doesn't look it massively. But Oprah Winfrey, Dwayne Johnson, a lot of high achievers, they all work out first thing in the morning. And it's been proven that your cognitive function, your brain's ability to focus and get things done, is massively enhanced. So it's a bit like, by working out in the morning, you're turning your little 1 litre car into a 2 litre Ferrari. Guess what? In the space of these 7 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours you're working, if you're in a Ferrari for 10 hours, or you're in a horse and carriage for 11 hours, which one's going to get further?
Yeah.
Well, most people stay on the horse and carriage because they haven't got time to waste. Whereas the people that turbocharge their engine by doing a workout actually get more bang for their buck with the rest of their time. So actually, going round to that, everyone has got time to train. And it doesn't take long. And it's about starting small. Try to underachieve. So what I mean by that is if you know you can do a 15-minute workout, but you've not done it before, and you know you can do it 5 times a week, say to yourself, right, I'm going to do 5 minutes workout 3 times a week. And what will happen is actually you'll have to stop yourself when you want to do more.
Doing more, yeah.
And you'll flip your psychology around. So it's no longer I've got to do exercise.
You're being held back.
I get to do exercise.
Yeah.
It's my privilege.
That's very good.
And you really start to enjoy it a lot more.
Wow. That's a great tip. I don't think anybody's ever said that. I've never seen anybody say do less fitness so that you want more.
It's powerful.
That kind of like trick psychology is your own body.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it works.
I like that. Like I've only got enough time at the moment to really do like 20-30 minutes in the morning, and then on weekends I try and do like 2 hours because obviously with like First Man and everything, trying to fit everything in, it's been crazy. But even that, I'm like, if I actually go there but I train properly, so I just do like compounds on the days where I don't have time, so I know I'm getting some serious shit done. So it'd be like squats, deadlifts, weighted pull-ups, bench press. And then when I've got loads of time, I'll isolate the muscles, do a little bit more stuff and like elaborate, maybe do some boxing. But because I go there and my intensity is like 10 times higher than the guy who's been in there for 2 hours just looking at women, taking photos and just kind of going like that. What the hell is that on my trousers, man? Oh, it's the pizza dough. It looks like we turned the camera off when the battery went. two men in a house, alone, playing the Deliverance. I'm conscious of that camera again. and I think it's been a good podcast, so I don't want to like fuck it up again. And I know you got to get your train. What would you want to wrap up with as last statement, and then you can plug your project again?
Like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah.
What do I want to wrap up with?
Just like one statement you want to leave people with in a fitness sense, testosterone sense, or whatever you want, buddy. I don't want to tell you what to do. You're a big man.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot of pressure on the man. Okay, you know what? Yeah, it's a bit of an aspirational thing. I'd like to say actually, but I think something that's really, really powerful is we're living in a time now where there's a massive emphasis on self-love. You know, you got to love yourself first and all this kind of stuff. And I think, you know what, that's a nice sentiment, and it's important to look after yourself. But what I've found is that the happiest people are people that are putting time into helping other people. And what I've also found as well is if you want to, Gandhi said it, be the change you want to see in the world. So if your goal is to get in great shape this year, find a mate who's actually at a slightly worse level than you fitness-wise and help him to get in shape. And you'll find a couple of things will happen. Number one is you'll get a great feeling of kind of, you know, just, you'll feel great. You'll get a lot of endorphins. You'll feel good by helping that other person, by helping your mate. But what will also happen is by you taking on the role of mentor, you'll just naturally find that your knowledge, your skill set, even your mentality towards your own training, not wanting to be a hypocrite, will increase exponentially. And I think when you know that somebody else is relying on you, when you take someone else under your wing, I think part of being a man is that. I'm a 37-year-old man with no kids. My clients are my kids. And to really succeed in what you're doing, I think you need to take on a role of helping others. Even if you're only 1% further along, that's what I would just encourage people to do. If you're on a fitness journey this year, don't just think, okay, I'm going to really smash out my goals, but find someone that you can help with their goals, and you'll just find that you'll love it a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And what's going on with the Spain stuff? Final plug to end.
Right, so the T90...
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. T90 Warrior Weekend is something I'm super excited about. It's 15, 20 years of culmination of helping guys build muscle, lose body fat, and increase confidence. It's basically the psychology that I got from dozens of Tony Robbins books and motivators and Zig Ziglar. So it's a psychology of success, plus the accountability that men have when they're in their football team, when they're in the rugby team, that kind of camaraderie that really keeps you going. So the accountability of the group to see the change. It's training, nutrition, mindset, and it's basically everything that I give my clients on a one-to-one basis when I do these body transformations to help men be more confident, higher testosterone alpha males. As our little promo video goes, wake up in the morning, rock hard, because when your testosterone's working properly, things will be working properly. It's 4 days in Calpe, Spain, which is a beautiful part of the world, in the sun at the end of January. And then it's a 90-day online program, training, nutrition, mindset, and freaking just all-round studliness.
It looks fantastic though, doesn't it? I believe in you as well. I think it's going to be massive. I trust in it. I trust in you. It's legit. Yeah. I wouldn't let you on here if I didn't think so.
And you know what? Not everyone can afford to do my 12-week one-on-one programs. They're not cheap.
Yeah.
So the T90, it's going to be £99 just to do the 90-day online program. And it's about rewiring your brain so you get the results, but at the end of it, you're a changed person. So better body built to last is our little catchphrase.
And I'll play the promo now that you've got. But thank you for coming on, buddy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I think they do, yeah. New era. Thank you, buddy.
Right, I really enjoyed that.
Wake up in the morning, rock hard. It's about abs, how to get them and how to keep them. So what's included on the Warrior Weekend? 3 nights stay in a luxury hotel, 4 days training on the beach, in the gym, the iconic canyon. Delicious and nutritious meals, seminars on mindsets, T90 90-day program to really help you transform your body and seal in those results. Still not convinced about the Warrior Weekend? Register now for our complimentary 6-pack secrets, plus a one-to-one, no obligation call with me to see what I can do for you.